have been willing to go for Ryze versus Galio, but I really hate that matchup, and obviously was just taken away thanks to Fearless here in this series. So they have to be wondering, are we going to be banning the Ryze ourselves? And if not, what are they going to be looking for? Is it going to be another jungler? It's Aurora this time, so I really feel like this should just be Ryze B1, and if it's not, then we're picking like Xin Zhao or Orianna is one of them. Okay.
So they trade the Ryze back to Xiaohu. I gotta think that he just slams this. I don't know what else he would like his look here. They banned his own Aurora. Talked about how the Galio's already out. The Azir's banned away. Think you just take the Ryze here, kind of handshake that Kalix and Xiaohu won't really be contesting each other too much early and looking to play for much later phases of this game.
And you have to always be careful about picking support early versus this team, because Lehends is a player that has so much flexibility and specifically just has so many different champions that he wants to play that I think giving him early counter pick could be dangerous. We'll see now what Weibo are going to go for. Again, I still think that you should just be picking jungle on here, especially because you know that there is going to be an Orianna. If you need AD, Nefiri Blind isn't all that bad. I know still Xin Zhao, definitely more the preference for a lot of our junglers.
That's a good note, though. Does Tian want to lean carry?
Wow. There's more Lee Sin.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so much Lee Sin in this tournament. I think now that Tian's playing this, we didn't get a Shun. We didn't get a Shun Lee Sin. So 2/3 of the LPL teams have now rocked Lee Sin, and I know it's been played by at least more than half of our teams here. The response from Nongshim, GIDEON breaking out the Nocturne. Oh yeah, we're going old school with Nongshim. It is Orianna Nocturne and a Kaisa to dive through with it.
Very simple stuff. Let's see if the combo between GIDEON and Kalix can be timed, and the dive here available for Jiwoo. So now from Weibo, I think the champions that they have are actually not that bad at being able to resist this. Xayah definitely helps that as well. So taking away more of the power from Nongshim's comp. Let's see what else we are going to get through in the last phase of this draft. I do think that a Braum is pretty important in this game for Weibo.
See if that one gets banned away. I do love the Xayah pick, though. It is definitely shoehorning Xiaohu into being the one that is terrorized by this combo virtually since the ultimates come online. We'll see how much support bans come across, as I do want to re-emphasize that Lehends is a madman on support picks. K-Man, who you'll hear from later, has been preaching the fact that if you see Lehends play Elise or Shen, it's a turbo int. Lehends has not played either one of those champions yet, so I just want to put that on everyone's radar, nonetheless.
I think Nautilus is a good shout here. I don't know if Weibo necessarily need to be afraid of it, but it is something I think Nongshim do need to take into consideration that could come in on 4 here. I like the Rakan shout, but I think giving a team like this Nautilus perfectly fine. It seems like that is what's going to be Weibo's choice. So what else are they going to be going for? Because I don't think they have much pick being able to get onto an Orianna later into the game outside of Tian finding something. So without a Nautilus, are they going to be looking for, I don't know, honestly, a Bard? Bard looks good here.
Bard could always be fun.
Leona is always my go-to. If there's an Orianna enemy team, I'm just going to be skill checking her all the time. It's okay. Does she have flash? If no, I'm throwing an ultimate.
I like that plan. TK, I mean, we're just fully trying to cover for anti-dive. I think Nongshim realized that if it's layman terms, right? Like if they don't pull off kills on these dives, they are dead in the water. So the Braum getting through for Crisp, yeah, I think for now Weibo are doing, at least on the bot side, a pretty good job at limiting Nongshim's ability with this classic dive comparable.
Okay, so as the game goes on, it will become a little bit tougher for Nongshim to operate. Kaisa is going to give them some scaling. Sion's a great frontliner here, but from what I'm seeing from Weibo, I need some kind of like reliable engage, and that just kind of cuts everything out immediately. Honestly, I think the only way we see this from Weibo, this needs to be an Ornn on 5. We need to have Ornn versus Sion. We need Ornn for the long range. I don't know if Aatrox is the champion I really want to play here, but I mean, you have a couple of melees. There's some lower range coming in from Nongshim. into the Orianna, we need to find ways of threatening Kalix in the mid lane, because otherwise I think he should have a very easy game to play.
I don't hate the Aatrox. I think the Ornn would have been better. I'm definitely with you, Hulk. But I do see the Aatrox angle for Breathe if he wants to kind of be high impact in these fights. It's going to be really funny because I'm curious to see if Breathe takes the approach in these fights of trying to run Kalix down like you're talking about. I expect Kalix to take Phase Rush just to buy a bit more space for an Aatrox running at him. Or if he tries to play back and wait for all those melees like you're talking about to kind of jump on the team, because that's also what Aatrox wants to do. All these melees in front of him that he can hit the sweet spots. So very skill-expressive spot for Breathe with this Aatrox, even if we were calling for a much more safe and team-oriented pick like an Ornn.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here, because this could be Weibo sending themselves to the semifinals immediately. If Weibo win this, they're going to be waiting at the end of the day for the next series, which is going to be BNK Furex versus D+ Kia. Winner of that will be facing off against the winner of this series here. And Nongshim need to be able to bounce back. This is a double elim tournament. I want to remind everybody real quick. So still a lot of game to play if they do lose out on their first life. But again, Godwall showing up for the Weibo squad.
He's still repping. He got a bit antsy in that game one. We all did, though. But that is behind us now. Weibo playing with house money going forward as we get a look at some of these runes. Just wanted to check that Kalix does go for the face rush. Not that I was worried that it wouldn't be. He does, and we are set to go back onto the Rift here as Ulk shifts into producer mode, and we go live to Summoner's Rift. Game 2, what could be the final one if Weibo can, no matter how they do it, win Game 2 like they were able to win Game 1.
Lehends with the Taric. I love that this guy is cooking. Very strong into trying to stop a Lee Sin. Very good into the Braum early as well. Even if the Unbreakable can block away the stun, it is a good disincentive. Also, you can try to fight him in the wave. Gonna get spotted on this ward. They clear it out. Lehends does back away, has no reinforcements. They're going for the swap with the Scion here, so it's going to be the Kaisa versus Aatrox early. Aatrox actually not that bad into many ranged matchups, but mostly just a stopgap measure to help get through what is a slightly tougher laning phase.
There's a lot of early moving pieces to take stock of, right? It's the swaps like you called out, but it's also the vert jungle, the Tian forces here. So I wonder if Tian is going to try and get Light ahead and even more comfortable with this Scion. Maybe try and knock Lehends out of the lane, because we know the one problem with these sort of sets is that the supports can really fall behind with experience. It's a lot to track here. I think we're due for another wacky early game that it's hard to remember with how much happened in Game 1, but it's exactly what we got, especially with Tian running away with, you got about a 1,000K gold lead at 6 minutes. I know. Hard to remember, everyone.
Tian is going to be very strong, though, because he's going to take away the Raptors, and he still has all of his top side here. Nongshim did not get eyes as to where he started, so he gets to go Raptors. You see the pings. Gideon's going to move into top side. He's going to try and make that gambit. He knows with the ward on the Raptors that they hasn't started it quite yet. Kalix now, eventually getting Dovener's turret.
All right, he's going to flash early. Tian's going to land a Sonic Wave. A Resonating Strike comes through. He flashes out of the turret range. And Tian is once again dialed with his second first blood of our series.
And now he just gets to go into his bottom side jungle. Tian, as soon as he sees his Q miss, he's like, okay, there's a Nocturne in my top side. Aatrox, be a little bit careful. Good kills coming on through. Turns into double summoner spells from Kalix, just in trade for Tian's flash. And a good start here for Xiaohu, who on this rise, I think can be a huge monster in this game. I think a 2-item wake-up for a large majority of this Weibo team becomes a scary nightmare here for Nongshim.
And who will pilot them through? Who will get that dirty work done? It's Tian to the rescue once again on this Lee Sin. He's got the kill as well, so again, we're going to be tracking to see how much he can get done with gold income early. And if you thought a Jarvan with an 8-minute Sunder Sky was scary, I promise you, Lee Sin with a gold lead is a much scarier prospect in the snowball department.
We've already rotated their bot lanes on through. It is going to be just a trade of the scuttles. I like that Xiaohu is playing really aggressively in mid. Knows he doesn't have flash, and they have vision of Gideon now, so as long as they can play this 2v2. It's very akin to the Nefiri that we saw, where
Oh,
Rise with a point-and-click Rune Prison makes it easy to get the punish. Kalix.
Are we doing it again?
Yeah, he's waiting. Now he's going to
Kalix
show
is
around the
covering
wall.
For it. Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
Sonic Wave missing. All right,
But
so
this is going to be a
Kalix is
plate
large.
now for Xiaohu.
Yeah, Chris to cover as well. I want to track. So let's see how I would like to see what the support XP is going to look like, because I do think Lehends is going to get decent chunk far ahead with all this meandering around the jungle that Crisp is doing. I don't think Gideon was expecting a Braum in his jungle. He shows up. He's still going to get hit by the Q. He's trying to trade with Tian, who's very low HP, but the stun is going to land. Tian's going to have to ward hop over. Gideon thinking about a flash, but he won't, and he does a decent job protecting a lot of his gold. Xiaohu's going to flash forward, get the Rune Prism down. Does he have enough damage on the Rise? Oh, he's about one Q short.
Oh, he thought his phase rush would have been able to stay longer here. Gideon needs to be careful. Doesn't land the Q. And if a concussive blows goes off, that could be dangerous here. Gideon is just going to have to 1v2 this. Doesn't even have smite.
No. He's the Sonic Wave. Tian, resonating strike forward. Slow's going to stack. Concussive blows won't come through, but he won't be able to steal his Raptor camps back around. And Kalix is like, Gideon, you're supposed to protect me here, bro. I'm lower than you. Sonic Wave not going to land. There's the Unbreakable thrown up by Chris. Luckily, they have the minions to take up the turret, and they'll be able to glide themselves on out.
Wow, tough margins there, but that was 2 camps taken there by Tian, so feeling pretty, or a camp taken away there by Tian. Very, very good. Got most of the Krugs, got most of the Raptors, and now gets to have access to his respawn Raptors as well. Tian still haven't recalled yet, so I wonder what his first back is going to be. Probably just going to be a tunneler and some more components. But I like the aggression that we're getting from Weibo. Play around your mid laner who is here to set up and be a facilitator in the early game. And with other lanes being as stable as they are right now, I think the fact that Lehends is not getting onto the map or not being a bigger part to be able to play is a bit of a problem. It still will be fine because he's just going to be a Taric later on.
Yeah, and he's going to get to his ultimate much faster than Crisp will. So that's something to look forward to with Grubs about 2 minutes out. Yeah, that's a big marker for a lot of these ults coming back online as we reset back to normal lanes. And well, one person on the Nongshim side that's pretty happy with rematching up with his expected opponent is going to be Kingen. It's really nice against an Aatrox when you come back with heel cut. That really takes a lot of the wind out of the Aatrox all-in sails.
Mm-hmm. Definitely very important, and I mean, most of this team coming in from Weibo is going to be doing physical damage, so the armor is always going to be useful. Seeing that there's a large focus towards bottom side, Xiaohu does have ultimate and was fading like he was going to look for a bottom side play. Opts against it. They're going to take control of the Tri-Brush instead. You noted earlier that there was going to be, whether or not there was going to be a massive support experience gap, and currently Lehends is about half a level over his opponent, so won't have it for the Grubs, but if there's a later dragon, maybe Lehends will have his ultimate, and we're seeing a fight for red buff now.
Or we don't care about XP because we are realm warping on top of Gideon. They get the double Taric stun, but the lights go out. Gideon just trying to create distance. He's going to re-engage into a 4-man shockwave, and Weibo are completely stunned. Kalix gets his revenge. Light flashes with a blade caller to get one back, but that is a measly morsel. Boom goes the dynamite for the Nocturne Orianna combo.
Triple kill for Kalix gets him right back into this game. Weibo not playing with enough respect. I mean, Gideon had ultimate. Guess who didn't? Tian. He's a little bit behind. He was 1 camp behind, and that turns into a massive turnaround here for Nongshim, who get 4 kills because of that. They get priority in multiple lanes, including bottom lane for Jiwoo. And now they get to play for this, for these Grubs if they really want to. They still have Taric, who's going to be able to come and fight. Kaisa can have an entrance in using the Killer Instinct that's still available. And Kingen's in the area and still has the Unstoppable Onslaught. So Nongshim get their cake and eat it too for this play.
One caveat for Weibo, Tian off that 1 grub does get the kick on. So Tian has that available. Taric's not going to land. It's Gideon onto the Grubs. He has smite advantage for the time being, but it's Tian's going to engage onto Lehends. Without that Taric gold, much more susceptible to engage with the flash. Unstoppable Onslaught hits onto Light, and they cut down the Xayah where she stands. Taric finally gets the trade back, but Xiaohu gets rounded and knocked up. It's the power of the Scion CC coming through for Nongshim, and they do get to eat those Grubs up 2 for 1, and get to play a fun game of where is Tian going to try and leave? Well, he's just going to use his teammate to get on out there, so at least Tian escapes, but Nongshim, another early game where they are just much more in control.
They win that fight outright. Don't even use the ultimate or the flash here from Jiwoo. Just a good, clean fight coming on through from them. No ability for Weibo to play. I'm quite confused as to why we're looking for these timings. The fact that we got one grub should be good enough. Let's get back into our timers. Xiaohu died a second time for that play after teleporting in. Gets right into the middle of a Scion knockup. Now they're going to see if they can find Kalix. Does have flash.
Don't think he should even burn it here. Maybe he's going to try and kill off Breathe. He does have Shockwave. Going to use it here. Breathe flashes out of it, knowing that he would have been the trade kill there, and Kalix will be picked off with a juicy shutdown. The Tian will claim. Good play there back from Weibo, but it comes at a cost as always.
Yep, Nongshim get the red buff. They're also going to be able to steal Raptors away. Light can't really walk in here. Wow. Gideon gets shoved off of this. Tian gets to take his red buff. Okay, so not all that bad. It bought time here for Kalix. I really wish Breathe hadn't had flashed. It kind of felt like you could have gone through that play without using it. If he just backs off, let your mid and jungle take care of the situation. He's going to fish.
Action.
That is tough.
Xiaohu on the flank. Gideon turns the lights off. He's going to re-engage on top of the Xayah. The Blade Caller doesn't get the snare there from Light. Can Gideon glide this one out? Jiwoo's trying to throw down some damage. Tian is going to eat a stun. The plasma stacks are coming through here. It's a Killer Instinct 4 for Jiwoo, but immediate kick from Tian. He flashes himself back out. Blade Caller from halfway across the screen. Light gets the kill onto Lehends. The Rune Prism roots up Jiwoo, but he flashes after Xiaohu, who has to commit his own flash. And the Feather Storm coming down here from Light. Another just rambunctious fight coming from our two teams, but it's only a trade of kills unless, no, Tian's not that crazy.
Tian, we're not doing this. We're not taking the red buff here. Teleport comes on through from Crisp. No, it's just Crisp. I gotta say, guys, please, Weibo, if you can hear me, we don't have to flip this, and this is the problem with playing against Taric as Lee Sin. You're never, ever allowed to Sonic Wave if Taric is marked onto your target. He put all that damage in the last fight onto Taric and just barely didn't get him because he landed the Sonic Wave onto another member of Nongshim instead. Jiwoo now 1,000 gold up in everything from that early game. Kalix having a very similar lead versus his opponent here.
We'll see if Jiwoo can overcome the shortcomings his lead brought in game number 1. Still about a 1,500 gold lead here for Nongshim, and they'll probably look to transition this into knocking off some pretty easy objectives. We still haven't had first Drake of the game take a spill yet. Gideon and Tian are both in the area here. Breathe getting some value of the push he has. There is Paranoia over top if Gideon wants to all in onto this Aatrox, but has camps to clear, and we will finally see the first Drake of the game knocked down at 12 minutes, and that makes Dragon Soul, a pretty unlikely scenario for this one.
Yep. Jiwoo just gets to step up when you have this Taric. I mean, as soon as you get your evolves as well, I think Jiwoo basically becomes unkillable in a lot of these fights. They're going to take control of the bottom side. Tian's going to open up into try first. Thankfully, a single ward here as well. Xiaohu's teleporting over.
Tian, he wants to kick on to Jiwoo. They're going to use the Cosmic Radiance. Can they get the Kaisa down before? No. Transcends into a godlike form. Will come out of it and Killer Instinct back towards his team as they lose Crisp already. Flashes from Gideon, but the Custom Blow still land here. Tian's going to ward hop forward, and Gideon will be traded out. Liking the flank angles and aggressiveness from Weibo. That's what got them back in and the win in game 1.
All right, but look at what's being traded on the opposite side. Kalix is getting side lane. There he is. Godglow still going for Weibo. They're going to look for Jiwoo here. Tian, can he find it? One more kick. Okay, Sonic Wave doesn't land, but that's a lot of gold being given over. Yes, it was a play to open up. You got some summoner spells out from Nongshim, but think about what you have lost during all of this. Usually when you're playing this Rise, you're not usually the strongest in lane, but side laning, being able to make map plays is where the beat is at. And potentially losing a turret here before 14 minutes is a lot to give over. So let's see if Nongshim can get some more out of this play. They're still upkeeping their gold, and especially Kalix does need to get a reset in. We've got the Herald spawning in a minute and a half.
Before that comes around, I do want to open a convo about Orianna itemization, because I know it's been in interesting spots, right? There's a lot of path, double scaling build, etc. How do you feel about the Blackfire Torch Rush, and what does that tell you that we might see coming from Kalix next?
Well, it just means that when he presses his ultimate, when Nocturne lands, hopefully if he gets onto 4 members, the Baleful Fire that's a part of the passive will give him more AP so that his command Dissonance does a little bit more. I have to always remember what the W is. Everyone knows what all the other ones, move and protect. Shockwave is a very obvious one. See that Weibo are fishing here. Still, they would just want control of top side. We should not be giving over. Transitioning into bot side is good for Tian's camps, but in terms of control for the top side, I mean, you still haven't cleared out a large portion of these wards, I should say, coming in for our LCK team.
So I'm going to take a good amount of poke there just to try and keep this first brick up. Nongshim secure that. They will get the little extra bounty of the feats of strength towards them as well. Feel like that turret going down is a certainty unless, ooh, I see a cheeky TP. That is going to be Breathe just to try and cover this top lane wave. He gives a look at Kalix, who did have that brush warded himself. So Breathe will trade out positions with Xiaohu. We'll see how that changes any sort of setup developments like you talked about for the top side with Herald mere seconds away from spawning.
All right. What else can we get here? I mean, they're going to move these people over for specific lanes. Breathe just teleported top side, but they know that he should be in the area. They had a ward set up behind him. Lehends is clearing out vision. They're going to send the Rise into the Sion. I think interesting because, well, Sion doesn't have his teleport. His ultimate essentially allows him to make very similar movements compared to Rise. So they're going to be down numbers for Weibo Gaming.
I think they're down a Herald, too. That thing is just completely cooked up and will fall. I guess they get a wave shoved into mid lane, some gold back to light, or maybe they'll look for a play here onto Kalix, or might be a turn play. The lights come out. World Ender pop there, and the TP from Xiaohu.
That's a win.
Yeah.
We take those. That's a huge win if I'm Nongshim. We get to control this side of the map. We lose our ultimate, but get a teleport and an ultimate. Huge for us. Sion's going to be able to hit on this bottom lane turret, and there's still a lot of HP to chunk through on this top tier one. So I think Nongshim are going to be coming the better out of it, especially in terms of gold. Whether or not Weibo are actually going to be able to fight, you're going to have to be walking into a shockwave. Here it is.
Yeah, and Xiaohu flashes out of it. As we see it engage on a Jiwoo on the backside, Tian has spotted him out from the jungle. That takes the killer instinct out. But all the while this top lane play is going, Kingen is the real winner.
Kingen's going to be so strong in this fight. Like, who is going to kill him later on in the game? Maybe a 4-item Xayah, but it looks like with the items that he has in his inventory, he's going to go Infinity Edge second. He still needs to get LDR.
Ooh, good little dodge with the Feather Storm, but I suspect the slow coming across. Jiwoo, once again, cannot evade Tian, but this time he has something to say about it. Ward hop back towards light. Lot of these feathers coming down, but again, they don't get the Blade Caller snare, but luckily Crisp is here. Gust blow stun. Can they cut down the Sion earlier? No, they have to respect Jiwoo's damage at Gideon. Everyone is flashing everywhere. But as Jiwoo finds the kill, they realm warp in. Light's going to try to get a kill. It's supposed to see the back. He gets a good Blade Caller down. Tarek to the rescue to make sure Kingen doesn't fall as well. 80 for jungle swap there. 1 for 1.
All right, and Breeze stayed top lane. He has no flash. He got Kalix's flash during that play. Must have been topside. Forced the Orianna to reset. Now we see the teleport coming on through for Kingen. That's a good find for Weibo. I think while it is still 1,000 gold, getting the flash out from Jiwoo and from Kalix, that is about as good as it's going to get. But now we're going to be walking into a dragon where your team is going to be second to the play. Orianna should be able to get time to set up into this. And 2-item Kai'Sa versus 2-item Xayah with the way that their compositions are built, this is going to be a tough ask here from Weibo. Do they actually want to contest this, or maybe they're just here to see if they can do a little bit of a dance with their opponents?
If there ever a time to trade gold, short value gold for the insurance of a dragon, it's in this game, right? This is second dragon of the game. We are 18 minutes in, so it is a very big long shot, especially now that we've split the first two, that anybody gets this soul, and Weibo say, yeah, there's no reason for us to really create any action there. Let's just resituate, get on these mid waves. We have a top wave to answer. Breathe needs to get up there. The real big play is actually to protect this mid-tier 1. Nongshim are going to use that momentum to cruise on in with the Herald. Tian and Breathe both show, so Weibo's full 5-4 versus Nongshim's. Lights go out. They're going to engage on top of Light. He uses the Feather Storm, though. Cosmic Radiance comes out a bit early. Weibo need to play this patiently out as the Taric ult does tick away. Chris goes back forward. Shockwave is only going to find Xiaohu, but he can walk himself out as well. Light, though, going to eat the Taric. Going to get blown up. Light completely out of position and ruins all of Weibo's momentum. And oh boy, they hit the Void Seeker on the Breathe, and Jiwoo flies right after him and has no problem cutting down the Aatrox. Light's misposition is to the dismay and demolishment of Weibo.
That was a really well-played fight coming in from Nongshim. Turn off the lights, as you had mentioned. And, I mean, Weibo just did not look on top of point. Like, I thought this fight maybe looked a little bit suspect because we didn't get to see GIDEON and Kalix join together, but waiting for the turret to go down, Kingen gets a huge knock just into Xiaohu, but it slows down this fight. There's no abilities here from Light. I don't know why we're stepping up here, and he doesn't have Flash nor the Feather Storm. That completely breaks this open for Nongshim. It could have just been the tower and the reset coming on through for Weibo, but they lose so much more from this.
Yeah, just something that we've seen plague Light many times. Just not on the same page, not respecting the cooldowns, the opponents, and it really cost Weibo. Now they're in desperation mode. They're trying to just force down this Octacon. Void Rush, Void Seeker. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my Void abilities mixed up. Killer Instinct coming up for Jiwoo, so he can join any fight here. Tian has been much better on the Smite Key this game. Will he win again against GIDEON? No, it's secured by Nongshim, and oh my god, Xiaohu got deleted on the front side of this fight, and a Scion comes out of the top screen with a deadly teleport flank. Weibo went desperation mode for an Octacon to try and save this game too, and they come up with nothing but grains of sand.
All right, so surely a 10,000 gold lead is enough for Nongshim to win this game, right? Right? Well, we'll see. It's the Otacon. It's the Otacon as well. This team does not get much easier to play against right now. And Nongshim, this is the reason why this Orianna is so dangerous. Like, you're going to be walking into Fog of War. You're going to play into this fight. I just want to watch Kalix during all of this because he's zoning Xiaohu on the right side of this play. Lehends as well being a big reason as to why we saw this fight work so well. You have the invulnerability, the stun. It's just a pure counter coming on through for everything that Weibo want to do. And this is more of that kind of loose-looking Weibo gaming that we've been afraid of all ASI and almost all of the year for LPL.
It's going to take a miracle comeback or a Game 3 angle now for Weibo. And where do we even look next here? Baron's still a decent ways away. So we can take a look at some of these items as we get to a 3-item Kaisa. We got a Profane and a Black Cleaver for extra boost towards both of these damage dealers, shredding through some of that armor. And speaking of it, Kingen has got so much of it just to assuage any sort of big-time team fight, mostly here from Breathe. It's Weibo again going after Kalix and his shutdown. Nearly going to stasis as Tian takes up the turret. He's going to flash after Tian and force his flash. Good little look on the Shockwave to at least trade some summoners. But Weibo will complete the dive, as always, at a cost.
I'm okay with this, though. They're the team that has the objective bounties. Pity prizes going over to Weibo. They're going to look for more here. A second one might be good enough, but do Nongshim just end the game?
Scion ult knocks the turrets down low. Cosmic Radiance is going to make them very strong to fight in these close quarters. And oh my god, it's Jiwoo again. He's just running down Breathe. There's the kill found in the fountain. Another stun from Lehends into this Tian Lee Sin. It's one Nexus turret that's doing a lot of work, though. Light getting some of these blades down, but the blade caller falls short, and he doesn't even cast his Feather Storm or his Flash. But I guess his death is a martyr to save Weibo in this game.
Okay, wait, Nongshim, Jiwoo's not going to be up for 35. And the dragon does spawn in 20. I don't think it makes it. There it is. Okay, he knows. I'm glad that at least Godwall is watching the games. But this could be a dragon here coming on through for Weibo. They need to get back out onto the map a little bit fast. 6,000 gold lead here still for Nongshim. And a teleport from both Kalix and from the support of Nongshim. Oh, Lehends is in. Lehends should be fine. Yep, takes the blast cone out.
Empowered blast cone, hell of a drug. Yep, all right, Chemtech Drake. Weibo just going to take this one down if they can. Jiwoo's back up and racing towards his squad with no killer instinct, so he's going to have to walk the whole way here. Weibo, this is not a dragon we really need to fight over, given how far behind you are.
You just lose the game otherwise.
Yeah, I guess we just scrap it out. Tian wants to go for a flact on a Kalix, but he finds Jiwoo. And oh my god, that is AD carries balance and all of their holy matrimony. Jiwoo comes in at the last second, shuts down the flank, and that is it for Weibo. They made it close. They made it decently close at the end with some dive shenanigans, but this time Nongshim will retain a massive gold lead and win the game behind it. We go the distance in our first ever match of the ASI knockout stage.
There it is. Okay, let's get over to game number 3. Let's bring up our cams. Godguo lied. He lied to us. He told us that we were gonna win. We were gonna win game 2. That ended up being the case.
No, that did not. And it's funny how similarly that game went, right? It was Tian doing some shenanigans in an early game to really get ahead of GIDEON, but then it was Nongshim that have just been much more poised in those early game skirmishes, and this time they close it out.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Got some post-game graphics. There we go. Wow, Jiwoo. Always a player that we have to be watching out for, even if he hasn't really hit the high highs of his debut in the LCK. It has been a couple of years, but I think Jiwoo, when given the chance, can take over. And we got to see the creativity of Lehends actually make a pretty big difference here in this game.
And now that we're into a stage of this tournament where it is LPL versus LCK, even if the LPL is outnumbered, man, it hurts my heart a little bit. Again, our best ADs for the LPL are at Worlds, but also the best ADs for the LCK are at Worlds. So take as much stock as you will on that one. I feel like the marksman gap has been pretty massive in this tournament between these two regions. I can't lie.
I mean, sure, Light hasn't obviously been the best player that we've seen, especially for his own standards. Maybe part of that is he's having to play with Crisp again. But I don't know. Like, Pei has definitely looked a lot worse than what we saw from him throughout the year. Leave still felt like he was playing good old League of Legends. I would say, yeah, Diablo's obviously a cracked kid. That guy is a wizard on the keys.
Yep. Get to see him next up against Aiming, so that will be an LCK known matchup. But we still have a third game to get through here as we roll into the second phase of highlights where, yeah, it was just a lot of Nongshim holding resolve in this composition that could really stall out fights, and kind of felt like the last little ditch effort for Weibo to maybe scrape this game back was thrown out in this last fight, this fight in particular in the mid lane.
Oh yeah, I mean this one was pretty tough as well. Like, we're just getting owned by Taric the entire time. Great Taric angle. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who's MVP, and I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna go over to Jiwoo.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Lehends deserves it. Like his entire champion just nullified everything that Weibo. This fight was so mad to me because he uses it the very last second.
He had flash too.
Tough look. Jiwoo finds Tian. Tian thinking, oh, I can kill this guy. He's like, oh, I just got one shot.
Yeah,
yep,
4 Adam Kaisa, by the
buddy.
way. Yeah, and then he just goes on in and runs down. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a Jiwoo MVP for this one. I would expect it. You know, I'm with you though. Giving some love to the supports. I still think supports have been getting robbed at this tournament. Leo, I will still stand with you for that game 2 against JDG, my friend. I'll never forget. Did they already give it? Did we miss it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay,
It'll come. They do a little bit of preamble, and then they toss it over.
I've seen it straight out the highlight. Oh, okay, you know what? I should stop downing. Oh, okay.
I watch every single show, man. There we go.
Don't mute my microphone. All right, Jiwoo. All right, so Jiwoo grabs that MVP. Aptly deserved for this Kaisa performance. Definitely a bitter taste for the LPL team to get blasted by the champion we always hold in tote with the region, but Jiwoo proves to be much better on the keys this game. Nongshim with a great response to Weibo's chaotic Game 1 win, but all of that now goes into the past, and we look towards the future, because in the present, we're going to go another short break. But on the other side, in the future, Game 3 draft, Weibo versus Nongshim.